Imposing his deathly aura throughout the convenience store, Minimalist demands to know where Sakamoto is. But despite the obvious danger, Aoi calmly admits her husband isn't home. So to get her to understand, Minimalist crushes the entire cash register, money and all, into a tiny pocket-sized ball. Aoi is 1, fucking shook, but realistically 2, at the same time, asks Minimalist the same question I would after witnessing some crazy shit like that, which is, who's replacing all that money that was inside that register? And what happened to it? Minimalist rips the counter in 2 and grabs Sakamoto's wife by the throat, demanding that she start to cooperate before he makes her look just like that cash register. But before the man can even finish his sentence, Minimalist's arm gets fucking broken. Aoi snaps that shit right at the elbow from below and then shanks Minimalist in the neck in one fluid motion. Minimalist falls to his knees, but surprisingly, there's no blood and he's shocked to be alive. But honestly, he's way more shocked to know Sakamoto's wife has hands like that. However, when Minimalist blinks, he realizes he's not really looking at Aoi Sakamoto. He's locking eyes with Nagumo, the Order's master of disguise, who laughs cheekily, realizing he accidentally misplaced his shiv with a toy knife, which is kind of funny to think the only reason Minimalist wasn't dead in one shot right there is because Nagumo canonically fucking plays too much. Also, side note, would hate to be the next person Nagumo pulls this prank on, since the real knife is what's coming next. So turns out Sakamoto, thankfully, was not dumb enough to leave his family unattended and alone in the convenience store. Quite the opposite, in fact. Sakamoto actually called in Nagumo to look over the store while he was out training, repaying a debt Nagumo accrued probably at some point in their youth. Nagumo agreed, since realistically, they actually both get what they want this way. Nagumo gets to act like a good person, kill his target, and cut out an IOU at the same time. Much like Osaragi, Nagumo puts the power gap between the serial killers and the Order on full display, taking the time mid-fight to steal Minimalist's phone and check for Slur's identity on it. And despite Nagumo politely asking Minimalist to not make a mess of the store since he's the one currently responsible for it, Minimalist proceeds to still trash the entire place in his attempts to land even one hit on Nagumo. During this rampage, Minimalist opens a door to the freezer section, and suddenly his own reflection snaps through the glass and starts choking him out. It's never explained how Nagumo's disguises actually work or how and why he's able to pull them off so quickly, but to fool a man into thinking he's looking at his own reflection has to be a supernatural feat. I cannot accept any other explanations for this. Even with the huge size difference between the two of them, Nagumo is casually able to lift Minimalist up with one hand. And after finding out he has no useful intel, Nagumo decides to finish the job up quick, no foreplay. Opening his suitcase, Nagumo brandishes his signature weapon, a multi-tool-esque Swiss Army knife with 6 different functions. Just like Minimalist, Nagumo gets bored with killing. So by using a die and rolling for a number, Nagumo can spice things up a bit by never knowing what weapon he'll get next. Nagumo is polite enough to offer Minimalist a choice in what number he picks, but Minimalist declines since he still seems to think he has skin in this game. Nagumo performs a sweet magic trick, clapping the die away and making Minimalist cough it up like a hairball, confirming Nagumo is, in fact, just a wizard amongst assassins, and amongst all the confusion, Minimalist spits the die out on number 3. But by the time he could even look down at that number, Nagumo was already straddling his head from behind and severs that dome skin from bone. Standing amongst the demolished convenience store, Nagumo decides he might as well crack open a celebratory uncooked can of soup, as at this point there's so much profit loss after Minimalist's tantrum, another missing product won't hurt Sakamoto's bottom line any more than it already has been.